All right, so here's my nerd rant for the day. I post a little bit about this, but it's just sitting with me. It's stuck with me. This idea that our axons can tear in our brain, because I never really heard that. I'm just touching the surface of neuropsychology and everything. So, in simple terms, our axons are the messengers in our brain. They send out neural impulses and neurotransmitters to other axons to kind of, signal your brain to do things, right? So if you have damaged axons, you could have cognitive impairment, you could have muscle weakness, you could have all sorts of problems, right? So if anyone's ever had a concussion, you might notice you're fatigued, you're tired, you're nauseous. All that's in simple terms, right? So the quote that's sitting with me is when I listened to that Huberman Labs podcast with Dr. Mark Esposito. Great podcast. But how he talked about how we treat a torn ACL and a torn ligament like it's more important than a torn axon. And why is that, right? Obviously, doctors don't want to touch it. Doctors don't want to touch the brain too much because it's ever evolving. We're still learning about it. It's also insurance. We can't do enough to prevent things from happening or to treat little things because there's not a big blanket disease on it. Instead of like, hey, let's look at this working memory issue. Like, let's look at this executive function issue. It has to be this big disease like dementia. But why are we not preventing things? I'm not saying we can prevent dementia. That's not what I'm saying. But we can prevent other issues down the line, right? And instead of treating this working memory issue as this executive function and really educating people on how to protect their brain, it's really not talked about. And that just grinds my gears, man. Like, I really love this doctor for speaking out about it, and I'm sure he gets a lot of backlash for it. He's a neuropsychologist, and he speaks out about how even neuropsychologists don't want to talk about preventative measures for the brain. So, yeah, that's my little rant for the day. I hope everyone has a good day.